want to hear.
I think about you almost every day.
Tell them what they want to hear.
Oh, girl, you know you got a pretty face.
Tell them what they want to hear.
You're not too big, you're just thinking the way.
Tell them what they want to hear. Tell them what they want to hear.
Tell them
Tell them what they want to hear.
want to
Tell them what they want to hear.
hear. Tell them what they want to hear.
Tell them what they want to hear. Tell them what they want to hear.
Tell them
Tell them what they want to hear. Tell them what they want to hear.
Never met someone so beautiful. Baby girl had everything. Girl, I want you to know you're the finest girl I ever seen. You need to be on.
Look, I'm coming to you with an urgent message. Every single one of our followers, our fans, I gotta let you know something.
Oh, man, it's happening too fast. Look, people don't want you to be notified of what we're doing here. They don't want you to be notified when we go live. And then now you get sad because you didn't realize we were live and you missed all that information that you took. Oh, God, they're after me. Look, all you gotta do is click the bell. Just click the bell. And you'll be notified every time we go live. I promise you. Look, hurry up. I ain't got a lot of time. Just go live.
You got to sit there and ask yourself, okay, what am I truly passionate about? What do I enjoy doing? And when you feel that way, honestly, you feel like you have never worked a day in your life. It's the most fun thing in the world. You get up in the morning excited about what you're doing. And you got to be really honest with yourself about it. If you wake up in the morning and you're dreading going to work, dude, do something else. Right. Do something else. And those are hard decisions to make. But when you make those decisions, it's a very liberating experience. And you find out that the rewards will come.
Oh my goodness. Woo. This tea tastes so good. This tea is the best tasting tea I've ever tasted in my life. I don't even know if I can even say that, but yes I can if it's the best tea I've ever tasted in my life. It's accurate. I was gonna put Mac in there. I'm gonna give y'all a little secret. The reason why I ain't got Mac on there now. It's because he was naked when he came on this bad boy.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That is not a secret. You tell it everybody, so it ain't no secret.
I was like, I was letting the ass run, and then I was like, is he naked? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Love you, babe. Good to see you.
Yes, you too. In this new year.
You getting the computer voice. I'm hoping this don't do this time around.
Let me just go ahead and go to my other backup.
But everybody. See, I told you. He did right. Hey, everybody. Well, Miss Hill gets up, of course, I'm gonna bring in Mr. Matt Reese to this bad boy.
Hey, don't be telling my business, yo. Hey, I was naked.
I'm like, what?
Hey, I was naked as hell. I was naked as hell, dog.
I like, he must have forgot he was naked or something. He turned like, oh, they're turning it back off. But man, everybody, welcome to Unfiltered. First Unfiltered of the new year, 2022. So happy New Year to everybody. Yes. Miss Kathy, I see you in the comments. I appreciate you so much.
Hey,
love you.
Ms.
Thank
Kathy.
you for always being faithful to us. Happy New Year to you and to everybody else. Everybody tuning in. Y'all already know what we y'all need to do. Share, like, subscribe. Share, like, subscribe. We on YouTube.
You about to be on Pornhub in a minute. Shoot.
And yeah, we was gonna be on Pornhub in a minute. I was like, oh no. But, Facebook, YouTube, we everywhere. If you go to YouTube, a lot of people keep Inbox it. It's the same thing as Unfiltered with Miss Johnson. It's on YouTube. We got the old page and everything. So I mean, any content y'all want, y'all can find it there, not just here on Facebook. So just let y'all know as well. Content number one. So how you feeling tonight, Mr. Reese? As we wait for Miss Hill's gonna get ready to come back on in a minute. She just getting everything set up because she's starting to get the robotic voice.
It's time. Remember that? It's time.
Now, a lot of things. One of the things I ain't told anybody one of the things I've done for like almost the past but I'll give or take. I got to be honest. About last 6 months is that I stopped adding sugar to things. So it was weird at first because you never realize how much you like sugar. You know what I'm saying? Or you kind of really into sugar. And I'm a big tea drinker, so I'm just drinking straight pure brew green tea with lemon, and I've been doing it for so long. It just tastes now. It just like, I mean, it's real good. So trying to start early, get Miss Hills back on there right quick. There we go.
Miss Hills, let's chill. I don't know why it's so came to my head. Randy was talking about your robot voice, talking about it's time. Remember that little mixtape song? That's how you sound.
I'm sure. I'm
It
sure.
was the Godzilla mix, like.
That's my joint, though.
You know what? And I'm laughing because I'm looking at back to the same thing. That's a Detroit thing.
Yes, it is.
I'm so glad they played that on BMF. That was cold.
Oh my goodness. But I'm gonna go ahead and let my wonderful co-hosts introduce themselves, and then we're gonna take it from there. We got a great show for y'all tonight. Glad y'all are here with us.
Yes, we do. Go ahead, ladies first.
Well, I'm Mrs. Hills, back in this new year, ready for all the good things that we have to come to us, all these blessings, all these new aspirations, all of these new just developments that we're going to evolve into this year. I'm excited, especially for these necessary conversations that we need to have. So let's get into it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
This is your boy, Mr. Reese. 1/3 at Unfiltered. Thank you guys for tuning in. Continue to share, like, and subscribe. Let's get into these topics. And also, we know it's New Year's. If you haven't started, start now. The goals you want to have, start it now. Yeah, we know it's the 5th, but hey, better late than never. Let's get it.
Oh yeah. I got one quick thing because we got a couple things going on. Some things we just wanted to bring to the table. We actually got really 3 excellent topics for tonight. I wanted to talk about this because the conversation got brought up to me not yesterday, and it was about Amy. What's her last name? Schreiner. Amy Schreiner. I might be not saying this right. Anyway, Jeopardy. People get more and more into Jeopardy now. You know, when people get on, you don't really get a lot of attention on Jeopardy until you got a long winning streak going ahead for you. Yeah. So everybody, if you get a chance, go ahead and look it up. It's an interesting story. But it's right now the current person on here name is Amy Schreiner. And she has won over $800,000, and I forgot how many days in a row she's won. I think I know it's like approaching 20 or over 20, and it's actually the 4th largest amount of winnings that someone's ever won on Jeopardy. This is the kicker. This is Jeopardy. This is the kicker. Amy, when I looked it up, because when I first saw her, she had really strong features. So I wasn't thinking, I was like, man, that lady got a huge head. And I mean, Fifi, you already know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm about to say anyway. But she had a huge head. I'm like a linebacker head. And my thoughts were accurate. It was a man. It's a man. So they've been giving her all this credit, giving him all this credit, saying that he's the first transgender person to be on Jeopardy, which I'm all fine and good. Congratulations. But the part that got me was this one. They said he's the highest earning woman. Yeah, nah, we got some X's going on. Like, no, let's not do that. So now the woman who was actually on there, and I actually put it on my actual page itself, my personal page. Oh my goodness, Facebook about to get me. But I'm trying to bring it up. But the actual lady's name is Kelly. Larissa Kelly, who from 2008 and 2009 she won, and to me she is still the highest earning female because she's a female. And she won $655,930. That's how much she won. So I was like, wow. So this is where we going with it now. But this is where I've been telling people for a long time. I've been telling them since before last year we was talking about this. I said the problem is going to be, it's hard when you ask somebody, what do you want to be equal? The problem where I get where you trying to say you want to be equal is when you want to take away someone else's rights to make you feel more comfortable, to make you feel like it's more. So I think that's the problem with a lot of things. See, we don't want to take away somebody's rights when we talk about blacks. We didn't want to take away the rights. We wanted the same rights.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to outshine somebody. We want you to say, give us the same opportunities, give us the same resources. And as you can see, we will be able to produce at the same and higher levels.
Yep.
Now, with this situation, when you have a man that wants to be a woman, he's still a man. And we got to really be careful because we on this line where it's like you're trying to cancel out, like you're trying to make it be bad for a real woman to be a real woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, well, what's going to be next? We're going to have a transgender man go to the Olympics, which you've already had that in weightlifting. What when it happen to get to more popular sports like track and field, taekwondo, other physical sports, and they start.
I don't know why I wanted to laugh. Like,
they start destroying women's records.
Hey, if Randy want to become a woman, he don't go
to the Olympics, right? But I thought about this. What if Usain Bolt said, "I'm a transgender woman"? Him right now would demolish every other woman in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair? That's not fair. And I don't care how anybody, what group of people want to say something different. If we're going to talk about fair, it has to be fair. I say, if you want a transgender group of its own, make the transgender group of its own and let them participate in it. I got no problem with that. Do it. That's fair.
And I think the thing that you kind of like hitting around is like, so they do have the power to like do everything else, but it's like, hey, like why not have our own little group to do that? You know what I'm saying? But
it may not be enough of them to partake in what they're trying to do. That's why they're trying to integrate into just whatever is already existing.
And it's true, and I think that's very true. And as true as that is, I think let's just say if we have, and you don't even have to be transgender, let's say, to participate. I mean, it's still showing that, hey, like, this is the group, or this is somebody who, this is who's supporting it. I just like, like you would say, it ain't gonna be fair. So I mean, like I said, if they have the power to create things how they want to create it, I just think that they can do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair. In the sense, like you said, Randy, where they're saying this is the top earning woman, when there's already been a top earning woman, and now because you're a trans woman, per what you want to identify as, you're trying to trump what has already been in existence, and that's the part that's not fair.
Nah, man, I agree. It ain't fair.
It ain't fair. And what happens is, what's that beautiful saying about Pandora's box? You can't control what comes out of it. And once you let one thing go, something else gonna come about. And the funny thing about that is just like when you lean it on rules and some type of regulations, and some people don't say, what is those regulations and all of this other good stuff? Come on, we know what we're talking about. People have an innatable sense of when you know what's right and wrong. Let's just stop it. I hate when people say, well, everything ain't the same as some people. If you're a person that think that killing innocent people is good, yeah, you're kind of crazy. And I ain't gonna be ready. I believe in using the word crazy. Like, yeah, you're crazy. That means you've lost the ability to reason in your mind and have a rational thought that you know that's wrong. I'm sorry, everybody born as, even when someone say they got Down syndrome, and I had, God bless, my uncle had Down syndrome, and he had more sense than some people that was walking on this face of this planet. And I'm like, no, this ain't everything that you're supposed to. That's why we know what, I'm about to get into another topic that we had, so I'm gonna slow down on that. I just wanted to bring that up to y'all. Some of y'all with those comments, do y'all think that is right? That right now that a lot of the achievements by women are endangered, not just in sports, but in a lot of different things, to be overshadowed by those who think they can identify but never be. This is in no shape or form to say that you cannot identify. You can do anything you want to do on this earth. You can identify being a grasshopper. You can identify being a lion. You can identify being white. Shout out to the old girl, the white girl that tried to be black. And they came down on her hard. Oh, what you trying to do? You want to do this?
What was this?
Was it Doge? I forgot her name, but
Rachel Dozer.
Yeah, Rachel Dozer. She tried. And I was like,
or Dolazar or something.
Yeah, Dolazar, something like that. And people was really coming down on her. I'm like, I mean, what is she doing exactly wrong? But see, they want you. You could be everything, but you better not want to be black. But that's another subject. But anyway, just make those comments alone, and let's go ahead and go with the show. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go with our first topic. What the heck? Let's go with let's start with the schools. Let's go to school.
Is it possible to post? Is it possible to post the bill, like the?
Yep, I'll get on it right now while you introducing it, fam.
All right, cool. 1 second. My country, but eating sunflower seeds, so I'm done. All right. So I ran across the Facebook post, and it was a substitution bill that was passed. And with this bill, it allows bus drivers, lunch servers. Let me see who else is a part. 2 seconds, I can set it out already. All right. Here's a new substitute teacher bill. Administrative staff, bus drivers, cafeteria workers can be substitute teachers. And here's the criteria. High school diplomas required, and change will help address storage, which is, while we're short, and current year, so which it can happen now. So, to basically introduce the topic, after it gets brought up, what do you guys think about that, having lunch ladies or anybody who's not, I want to use the word qualified to fill in as substitute teachers? I can go ahead and let y'all go attack that first.
Well, I feel like, to be honest, as someone who's worked in the school systems in a different capacity, seeing those teachers who they considered eligible because they had a degree, they didn't necessarily have to have a degree in education, or teaching. But as long as they had a degree, they can become a substitute teacher. So to be honest, in my opinion, I don't feel like this is a far off from what's already been in existence, to be honest. And I feel like the only issue is going to be that could come out of this, just like what I've already been seeing with substitute teachers, is that you're hiring people just to fill a position or fill this space for now, but you're not seeing if they're qualified and they have a heart for the kids and they actually have a desire to teach. Because you can be a cafeteria lady, a janitor, a volunteer, and have a desire to teach kids and have a heart for kids and be impactful, whether you got a degree or not. Just like these people who actually went to school and got a degree, maybe it may not be in education, but they qualified to be a substitute teacher, and some of them don't have a heart for the kids. They just there to get the check. So it just depends. It just depends.
Whoa, what you got us watching?
I know, right? It looked like straight up porn, but it's not porn, y'all. It happens to be the commercial for USA Today. It came on really hard. But yeah, there we go.
All right. Whitmore signs bill so non-teaching staff can work. Michigan Public Schools can use a non-teaching staff as a substitute teacher for the rest of the academic year under the law designed to address a shortage during the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right. Here's my take on it. And this is somebody right now. I am a product of DPS, Detroit Public Schools.
As we all are.
Yeah, as we all. I understand the opportunities that can be addressed and taken care of at the schools. I understand how the students can be now. And like I said, this is just being like upfront. And the topic might go a little left, so just bear with us. Me being a father of 2 kids and knowing that there are futures, and I have to trust the school system with my child's future to a lunch lady or to a bus driver or to a staff that, one, doesn't meet the qualifications, or two, or may I see where you were going, Felicia, that may or may not have the passion to teach the kids. I mean, want to help the kids. If it was free, like if they were getting paid and they were actually doing it, I would see it in a whole different way. But as we know how much, substitute teachers get paid and what they actually do. And also, like, all of us sub before. I want to say, Felicia, you sub before, haven't you?
In a different capacity, not in the way that they're talking about.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. It's like, just abiding in the classroom with students, and that's it. Like, they don't care about the criteria. They don't care about learning, what the teacher has left, if the teacher even comes back. So you're just there to show that, hey, we want to keep these students here. And Randy, he's gonna go into his well, I want to say his political, which he's right, but he's gonna go in depth about it. But I just feel uncomfortable knowing that I'm gonna put my child's future in the hands of somebody who's not qualified. And like I said, even like we could talk about people with degrees. Yeah, and we can let's even talk about teachers. Like, teachers do lack passion. So do you think my my oh yeah, teachers do lack passion. Like they lack it, but I feel like at least they're qualified. Like, I rather trust. I'm gonna get there. Like, if like my kids ride a car with me, my wife riding a car with me, I rather take my car to a licensed mechanic than somebody who flip burgers at McDonald's. Straight up. Well, I mean, not even comparing my child to a car, but like I said, I just think we are so far gone. Even though the coronavirus has had an impact on the shortages of teachers, I just think it's it's too far gone.
Fifi, I know you was over there itching and twirling, so go
No,
ahead, do your
I
thing.
want to say I agree 1,000% with what Mac is saying, because you do want someone who is qualified. You just don't want somebody off the side of the corner coming in and trying to teach your kids something. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I just think my point in general about the whole school system, not necessarily about what we're talking about with substitutes, but in general, the system needs to be reformed, because I've seen teachers and substitutes who are qualified who acting like somebody who just came off the street. Like they haven't had any type of education or training or equipping to work with these children. So that's my main point. It ain't necessarily about the
Damn it,
substitutes.
John.
I agree 100%.
Damn it, John. Hey, don't you hate when people like John? You're exactly right. And I was talking about it with some guys, and you definitely hit the point. Like, I don't want to steal Randy's thunder because he actually said that. So I'm gonna let him go ahead and go into that. But Felicia, you absolutely right as well. I just think a lot, like the parents does play a part of it, but I feel like as far as the community, like this don't happen in other school counties. Like I wouldn't see Bloomfield Hills or Farmington
Absolutely.
have lunch ladies and bus drivers,
Damn, this tea
substitute
good.
teachers.
Right. I agree. Because it's a unity, it's unified. Even if they agree to disagree, they can still come together to reach the goal. This is what we're focused on, this is what we're passionate about, this is what we care about. We want our kids to be whatever. So they'll do what they gotta do to get it done. For us, it's not necessarily all of that unity that needs to be there all the time, because there's nuances, and people like me, that's why I'm passionate about this topic, because I have a heart for the youth and I care about the youth, and they need people who are going to really care and not just be showing up for a check.
Yeah.
But it's like, even when you have these people who are coming in who are just like the people who passing this bill, it's like, what have you ever went into the classroom? Have you ever sat inside to see how the kids are taught?
Yep.
Have you ever went to the schools to see how the kids are being tested, treated, all these things? That's where it comes in. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah.
And I even want to touch on the parent part. Like, I got my master's in education, and I think that was one of the big focal points of parents actually participating in helping their kids at home and making sure they're doing the right things at school. Which I think, if I don't want to blame this on behavior, but if the environment of some of the schools are more tolerable, they would it would be a lot more people wanting to sub. But like it's just been out of control. And like I said, if parents can't help, you can't expect the teacher to go ahead and do everything 100%.
Man.
Go ahead, man. I know you got a lot to say. We talked about it, so I kind of don't want to take.
We know we did talk about it. I love you. That's why I love you so much. We talked about this because we do. Me and Mac talk every day. Literally, we talk every day. So when we have debates and conversations, I don't even want to say debates. We just we have it. We have to come up in the conversation. We talk about it and we find out where it is. 90% of the time we agree on what's the answer. But what I love about them is that both of us got different ways to get to the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes you find out when you go on somebody's path that one part of that journey was easier going it that way, and then you find out the other part of the journey would have been easier going the other person's way. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we're all three of us have worked with the schools, been in the schools, and what I'm saying, still working with. This is where I've come to find out so bad. And John is so crazy. I think John and me might have been like developed in the same cloning dish, because our opinions always seem to be the same.
it was crazy that like John said all the answers
every single
John
thing. That's why I just didn't want to say too much.
I was just so tongue tied. I'm like, I can't even I don't want to stay out, but
yep, so
y'all hit it on the head.
So love you, brother. Appreciate you, John. Love you, brother. I think the biggest problems and what, like you said, you're looking at not even just a little bit, but you're looking at scholars from Detroit public schools, people that went there and we performed at some of the top levels, and even when we came out of that bad boy, performed good when we was in our colleges. The thing is, I'm gonna say this, and this might hurt a lot of people's feelings, but one part of it is it's got to do with the student. Now, this is the part that a lot of people don't want to talk about. And what I mean by the student, you got to have a drive. You can't pretend drive, because when you live in Detroit, Baltimore, Chicago, Los Angeles, Compton, Baltimore, Milwaukee, any of these major, Gary, New York City, Bronx, Queens, when you live in these areas, you have so many distractions. There's one thing that's above every other person that come from privilege. There's 10 times more distraction in urban areas than any other area in this country. Period. So it takes a certain, what's this word from my boy Jordan? Shout out to my boy Jordan, that he always talk about. Randy, I love when you say that. I love you say it. So I'm going to say it for you. It takes discipline.
Discipline. Yeah.
Discipline. You got to be disciplined. So with that being said, I don't think that's the main, but I think that's one of the things, because it go with the student. Because you could put a bad student, a good student, in one of the worst schools, and they perform and excel above anything that anybody could ever think of. Like, wow, how can he do it out of this? He's disciplined. So he or she is disciplined. Next, parent involvement has got to be almost near or at the very top of the list when it comes to school systems. Because I remember going, and I'm going to give you a good example. Shout out everybody that went to Barber Magnet Middle School over there on, Sylvester and Seneca. It was the biggest middle school in Detroit. And it's in one of the, I hate saying that because I stayed in that neighborhood, but it's the truth. It's in one of the worst neighborhoods in the city. And you get over there, Randy Johnson Sr. and Dorothy Johnson, two incredible parents that didn't play games.
Never.
No matter what I did, no matter what I was doing, if it's sports, it ain't no quitting. If it's education, I bet not get under 3.5. So they was always there, always
3.5?
with a healthy, 3.5. And they didn't play them games because
show me some proof.
Yep.
That's all the stories I heard.
And my father just didn't play the games. My mother didn't play the games. And if they saw like, okay, this is what you was doing, all right, it's time, then this need to be taken away, because you don't feel passionate enough for it, because if you did, you would still keep it up. So, and they would be there. They weren't the parents that came to school talking about, yeah, I know you're doing it wrong. They came into school getting the teachers behind.
Listen,
they held them accountable, and they didn't play games. So parent involvement, parents, I'm telling, this is the part I want Detroit and a lot of you urban city parents to say. They be like, well, I work all the time. So do I. I put in 12-hour days, man. Now, not just with a company. I put in them time frames with my own businesses. But it ain't going to be one time I'm ever going to not be at a parent-teacher conference, at anything, and not just be the person that's there doing complaints. You got to be there, and you got to be a participant. You got to help the teachers like, hey, I'm open. Call me with everything you need. Let me know what I could do on my side of the gate, because I send my kid to go to school to get an education, and that's it. So parent involvement is real big. Then, of course, the last one, money.
I was money
is the big one. Money's that big last part. It's the big last part. Why West Bloomfield got such an outstanding school system, and places like Fraser got outstanding school district, not only in Michigan, but in the country, because they got the money. They're clear-cut tax break. I mean, it's just the tax system. The tax
Mhm.
they got there, you got all of this coming in, and I ain't gonna even talk about private schools. But when you got these kind of systems in where they can afford to have iPads for every student,
Mhm.
where you can afford to have some of the most um, incredible tutoring when it comes to technology that money can buy. When they could tell you lies that, man, if you only got in urban schools, if it's only 15 students in a class in an urban school, that's bad and you have low enrollment. But if you have 10 and under in West Bloomfield, Auburn Hills, Canton, and any of these other school districts, that's outstanding. They're getting all the attention that they need. That should let us know right off the bat something ain't right.
Mhm.
So those three things is really heavy when it comes to it. We don't need more testing.
Nope.
Testing is done. We've already established that the kids and majority of kids in urban cities can't pass the test because they haven't even been given the material on the test.
Nope.
Exactly. And you know what they
They're
do
taught to the
after you
test.
fail it? They use
Mm-hmm.
the same exact test.
They have
The
been
same
taught.
exact test, and you still like the school. The school still don't give you the criteria to teach them the actual test. I mean, and some even do, but it's like you're teaching them how to take a test versus actually letting them learn the criteria. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, hey, if my goal in this class to learn how to do calculus, right? If you keep giving me the same problem to solve, I'm not gonna think outside the box because you want me to get the problem this way, where I can, get it through, and where I can get through different avenues. Like, not teaching me, you're just instructing me. I think it's if you're instructing me to learn things how you want me to learn it. In it, I just can't do it.
Mhm.
And then like even like John alluded to, like the Canton schools, like I lived out near those areas, and like it's just so well established and so put together. Like there's like it's like the student fail rate is just like close to zero. Like there's no like there's no way unless they don't want to go to school. Like they get what they get out the Canton school system for sure.
And you know what the big thing is? And you pretty much said it, but it's a thing and it's a phrase I've come to know. It's called systematic policy enforcement.
Yep.
What is
And
that?
that's what goes on in schools, especially in
Mhm.
urban schools. It's where they have to teach a certain policy and procedure to the T in order for it to maintain funding for public
Yep.
schools.
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay.
And that's why, I put that one up what John said about the prison pipeline because that's what it is. It doesn't make sense at all. And see what happens, you know how that gets changed? It gets changed by the people, get changed by the parents
Yep.
because you got to be at those meetings. You got to be at those things
Mhm.
because I remember they tried to pull that off in my daughter's school. Now, granted, my daughter doesn't go to Detroit public schools, but it's for a good reason because they're no longer good anymore. Not a lot of them because they practice this. And it's sad because why wouldn't I want my daughter to go to Detroit public school? But because you want, and somebody told me like, oh, you being fake. No, I'm not. I want to give my daughter the best opportunity that she can at the best education he can. I just don't want her
Mhm.
to have the best pair of gym shoes on. That ain't teaching her nothing. What you
Yeah.
want her to be the best dressed dumbass in the class? No, that's not my goal. My goal is for her to have everything I didn't have, but to experience the same type of work ethic that I have.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
That's what you want to do.
we even talked about it. I had a situation with a parent, and I guess he didn't respect um teachers that didn't live in the area or kids didn't go to that school. And so I was saying, well, is it an issue that I live in Belleville, that I don't live in Detroit, so I have less of a what word I want to use, integrity of teaching the kids, or like, hey, I have to have my kids go to DPSs so I can gain your trust that I want to teach. Like that's ridiculous. And as much as I love DPS, and I love my community, my my daughters are not going to DPS schools.
You know what's
I
funny?
like
It's because you black. And I guarantee that a person that said that was black because he wouldn't say that to a white person.
Yep.
He wouldn't expect a white person to even live in the city. Well, shoot, he ain't about to be in the white city. Like, what that's got to do? Sometimes it's so much ignorant.
Yeah,
I can't listen to
I thought
ignorant.
that was so ridiculous.
You can't listen to ignorant blacks. And I mean that as so. I love my people, but I love them enough to tell the truth. Sometimes we got some of the stupidest criteria for blackness. I'm like, what? You're telling me that because I'm black, my time should show my commitment. If I'm here at this school every day of my life, right? Because that means if you work, wherever job you work at, that's where you spend most of your time in the first place. The majority of your time you work, even if you have your own business, that's where you spend a majority of your time. Look at it. If you could go back in the time frame of your life right now, you'd be like, man, I spent the majority of my time working. Yep. So these people say something that's stupid. Like Fifi know a lot about this because, like I said, she was heavily involved in it. So when you see people say something that ignorant, like, I'm here because I'm invested in my time. What have you invested other than your complaints?
That part.
This is all you've ever invested.
Because you're not a part of the solution. You just want to come complain. You want to come act a fool in the school and cuss and embarrass your kid and do all this stuff. Yep. But you're not coming to volunteer. You're not coming to do anything to assist to make things better.
Yep. Or even just do the intangibles. Parent teacher conference. If something goes on with your child, hey, what's going on? Or after school, hey, little Timmy had this issue. Can you explain to me why this is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, just certain stuff like that. Like, the teachers can't fix everything. They can't fix everything.
Say that one more time.
The teachers can't fix everything. And, like, just because, like, don't get me wrong, their job is to go ahead and teach a criteria. But at the same time, like, it's more valuable for the parents to make sure that they learn and get what they need out the school. Just because they go there don't mean, like, they're taking anything in, that they're even paying attention to class. You drop your kid off and have no clue what they're doing. You have no clue at all.
In there. I definitely wanted to put this in there right quick because I do want people to know this. I still do mentor just in case. That's something everybody know already. I still do mentoring. And one of the schools I do it at is U of D Jesuit. Anybody know what that school is? A private school. It's an all-boys school. That's mandatory. They don't play games at that school. Not only is it mandatory, you got to pay tuition to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see them, these guys have almost 2 book bags full of books in order to get their education. You know what I mean? Playing all this other stuff. And what I'm all saying by this is that private schools even know that the investment into a quality education is money and time. Yep. Like we've been saying forever on this show, when I say, like, you want to know what support really is, I say there's only 2 ways people can support. That's with their time or their money. And if you get lucky and blessed, they doing both. So
let me ask a question to both of you guys then, because you said that money and time, can fix a lot of stuff. We know the city of Detroit has a lot more money they can fund to help these schools. So let's just put money out of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
If more than half of the parents put a lot more time into their children and their education, how much better off would we be in the Detroit school system?
I guarantee you, say half the percentage of graduation rate go up by at least 40%.
I agree 100%. Yep.
At least, because you'll be tackling at least half of the issue, which is the time.
And so the words I'm hearing, like mandatory, you said forced, but mandatory and like, forced. So it's like if DPS schools were required, having mandatory to go to parent-teacher conferences and participate in things that your child/students are doing, like, would that help that if we're forced, or is it because these other schools have the policy where, hey, we're forcing you to do it, like the Canton schools or the private schools that you have to pay for? I understand, hey, if you put money into it, I want to make sure you're getting the best education. So, like, is that a reason that they're being successful? Because, hey, I want to send my child to this school because I know I'll be forced to go ahead and participate. Versus like, all right, I'm gonna send them to Osborne or to Persian or to Finney because all I gotta do is just drop them off, and hopefully I'll get a phone call saying that they're not in trouble.
Fifi,
I
I know
feel
you got
like, to
something
be
to say.
honest, it's about
crazy.
the priority of the parent.
Right.
Because the difference is, if I have a priority in how my kid performs, if that's most important to me, like Randy was saying, Randy will take off work. He'll do whatever he got to do to make sure that my daughter is doing what she's supposed to do. And I am responsible enough to check in and not just take her, oh yeah, school was good today. I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to figure out, okay, well, what did you learn in your math class? What were y'all talking about? Okay, explain it to me so I know you got it. That's the kind of conversation where a parent is more invested versus anybody can show up for something that's mandated, but that doesn't mean they care about it.
Right.
And not to say that these parents don't care about their kids, but their parents caring about, I got to make more money in order to make sure we got a roof over our head. The priority is different. So if it's mandated, yeah, they'll probably show up. But the actual involvement and the care and everything that is given to a high level may not be on a high level.
Yep. And like I was shoot, man, it's really nothing else. Like I agree with everything you said. It's really about, it's a mindset and a mentality change that really has to come into our community. And it's got to start with the parents. It's some good, outstanding young parents out here, younger parents. In fact, yes, it is. And I really salute them because I know it's even harder now with all the distractions that a lot of kids have.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the ones that's younger than us. But the biggest thing is that it's your kid. What wouldn't you do for your kid? It's about how much what you love. See, I have a problem with someone that says you can't make a parent-teacher conference. That's really not that important for you. You got to get to work, but you'll miss work to stand in line at 12 o'clock in the morning for a pair of $200 gym shoes that your kid can't do the math on to figure out the markup on it, and the reason why your dumb ass standing in line to pay for a $16 shoe that it was cost to make. That is my problem. You care more about the appearance, appearance of looking a certain way, than actually becoming a certain way. It's a mentality change. What you know how many parents right now, majority of them parents that's in the U of D Jesuit, they ain't filthy rich. They just paying an investment in their kids. They pay the tuition. These people work at Ford. These people work 9 to 5 jobs, but they wanted the investment in their kid. Like, this is what I want to pour into my kid for the long term. The problem is that it's too many short-term goal parents out there that this is what you want. You want right now for your kid. You want them to think that the best year of their life they're ever going to have is going to be in high school. And that's a stupid mentality for us to have. You only got 4 years of high school, brother. It goes like this.
Depends on who you are.
Them for life. You're supposed to be preparing them for life. And like, you know, what so many people just don't understand is, why wouldn't you make the investment? I don't care. I'm ready to get off of just get off of work and put things to the side to go to see my daughter. I didn't miss one honor ceremony, one parent-teacher conference, one field trip. That's because of the things I did. People are like, oh man, you don't do a lot of vacations. Why? Because I got something that's more important to me. Because I'm going to take them days off for those. Those things are important to me. And then the other things I need to do, vacation, it'll happen. But the most important things is the things I want to do for my daughter. That's the things that parents should be realizing. Stop being so, I'm going to drop them off because I got more important things to do. A lot of you parents' transmission has been stuck in high school yourself, so you don't even have the mentality to think of a parent. You're thinking selfish right now. You're trying to be friends with your kids instead of being parents with them. And as long as you do that, your kids always going to have the same mentality, always going to be upset and angry because you're upset and angry. And then they got to go to school to teachers that ain't getting paid what they ain't sure deserve. And guess what? Not only do they got to put up with the lack of books, the lack of quality education, now they got to put up with the lack of disrespect. I mean, with the lack of respect, with the lack of respect from the parents, the teachers, the principal, and all the rest. Everybody else is over them, and you telling them, go do your best. What? You telling them they got to be in classrooms where they got to be worried about getting killed? Now,
Listen,
you know,
it's little stuff like people don't even notice. When I worked in the schools, I couldn't believe how teachers can't even go to the bathroom.
this is
They cannot, like all day. Like for the time they walk in the building, unless they got lunch, that's the only time they go to the bathroom. Unless you can find somebody in the building who can come relieve you while you go to the bathroom. Ain't that crazy?
That's crazy. And then you want to pay them peanuts. People like, then what happens is that you push out these teachers out of schools, right? They wet behind the ears. And then they got to come into these situations. And they ain't prepared for it because all they doing is reading off a book. They like a sales representative in India talking to Americans. They like a fish in water. They like, well, they're doing this. Hold on 1 second. This was not in the. Oh my goodness, this wasn't in my college transcript.
And you know what else? You know what else?
The student teacher don't be in these schools. Student teacher be in nice little professional,
I was just about to say
organized schools, and then you sit right to the hood, and they be like, "What?"
Yeah, they're already like they're in the environment to where it's controlled. You have another teacher there with you, and you're just basically shadowing. And you may teach a class one day, but you're still shadowing behind another teacher, whole another classroom, whole another criteria. They won't let you. Like if I get a teacher certification, they won't let you actually, might shadow you, and then you go into their can say, so I remember books that stuff. But I wanted to address something that you said earlier, talking about the UND school, and it makes sense to me now that you brought it up. I always saw like those stickers on the back of people's cars, like they had pride in that school, and I'm just like, I didn't get it. Like I didn't like, all right, just a high school, but just show like the investment and like you said, like just the pride. I'm like, all right, hey, my child goes here, they're learning here, they're getting an education here. You know what I mean? And like I don't see Osborne stickers or Persian stickers or Cody. I don't see that. I don't see that. And like it just dawned on me like that's why I see a lot of these stickers.
And you want to know why? Like you just said, because they invested in time and they invested in money. It's just quite simple. Do you have some people that take pride in their schools and like, say like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Osborne, shout out to Persian. I mean, whatever school you go to, it's like that. They said, what I'm saying, whatever, but you already know. Some people that go there like, yeah, there you go. But man, I'll give you a real good one. Let's say you went to Michigan State. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, Michigan State, whoop whoop. Mm-hmm. But say you went to Harvard, what's the difference? The prestige.
Mm-hmm.
The prestige of going to what is considered to be one of the best schools in the country. MIT, one of the best schools in the country. It's a difference. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Columbia,
Stanford,
Dartmouth, Brown, Cornell. When you hear those schools, you automatically, in most places, their resume go to the top. You probably don't even need the resume. You went to Brown. Hey, I went there. What hall? Stevenson Hall. And it just happens like that. But that's what it is. The investment in time and money and the prestige of it. So, I mean, all in all, this is a good topic. I know that could be a whole show topic.
Hey, John, thanks for interacting with this topic. Like I said, we definitely appreciate a lot of the things, experiences that you went through and things that just, letting us know. So appreciate you, bro.
He's like you said, he know both sides of it when you're doing it. And that's what it is. Like you and Mac, Fifi, but all of us know because when you start, you're like, man, it's way different out here. You go out there, them schools, it's standing room only at parent teacher conferences. It's standing room.
You got to stick to the schedule on purpose. All right, we only got 30 minutes. We got to stick to the time schedule.
We're doing it. We own it. If you go to Detroit Public, any of them school, man, you can see tumbleweeds rolling in there. And that's the, and it's like
a shame.
But it's a shame because, man, ain't none of them cities bigger than us.
No, and you know what? You know what Randy has said, and this is where like one of the times he actually shut me up in a debate because I was like, yeah, because Detroit don't get me wrong. Detroit has the funding to help with schools, and mental institutions, which we're going to get into in a second. Detroit has the funding, but this is what he said, and it kind of shut me up. He said, if you were to take all the black people, all the blacks from Detroit, and move to West Bloomfield and Farmington, and take the Farmington people, this nigga got on pajamas. You should be fired.
Y'all wasn't supposed to see that. Y'all wasn't supposed to see that. I was supposed to just.
He got on Chicago Bear color pajamas.
No, these some. They so comfortable, man. These thermals, boy, they comfortable.
Yeah, if you were to take the students from Farmington and Bloomfield Hills, move them to Detroit, they take the Detroit kids, move them to Farmington and Bloomfield Hills, Detroit will have the best school system in the country, and I can't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like really, and that's the saddest part, you know. And you know, like you sometimes when you say those things, you don't even take pleasure in saying them because you like, man, that'll be the truth. And you'll try to figure out why. People be like, why? Because the mindset is different. And it ain't all, don't get us wrong. It's never, I know all my people ain't like that. I know we some strong people, man. But the strongest have got to start stepping up and showing the weakest how we need to do it.
Yep, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what I do. But let's get to this next one. This is pretty good right here. This is I want to know if we said, you know what, let's go. Yeah, we go right here in order. So mental meltdown or a grown ass temper tantrum. Wow.
Ooh.
Man.
If y'all was living under a rock or don't watch football, this discussion, we're gonna mention Antonio Brown and the situation, but we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, just go left field because it's not just about him. The bigger picture is addressing mental illness and how we look at it or even address it. So, what was it? This past Sunday, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who they play?
The Jets.
They played the Jets and they were losing during halftime. Antonio Brown, somebody who had a lot of mental issues. Sorry, I don't want to say claim as he's lying, but they claim to have a lot of mental issues. And during halftime, he didn't want to play anymore, which whatever reasons, which we can allude to. He took off his jersey, took off his helmet, took off his shirt, and just left the arena. And we can kind of agree that he does have mental issues, but just looking at the track record of things that he's done before and things that he's been charged of, it leads me to question, like, is this man really suffering? Or is this guy just using it as a tool to get what he wants? Or a tool to get away with things that he want to get away with? I'll let you go ahead and move that how you want to move it, cuz.
Yeah. I think Miss Fields had to put some more nuclear fusion in her I don't know what happened. But we it's funny. We when we saw this, it's funny. We was in our group text just like, man, anybody see this? And I happen to be, because you know they all know I'm a big time Tom Brady fan. So I was watching the game. I was already upset, just to let y'all know. I'm not a big gambler at all, but I was trying to get a parlay. And what was funny was that as we was watching this game, I called my cousin. I remember talking about it because I was like, man, I'm about to get my parlay of blah 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 win. And then all of a sudden I turned to the station and I see Antonio Brown talking to Mike Evans. And at one point, it looked like Mike Evans almost like he was like, man, I'm kind of, almost like his thing was like, man, okay, I'm kind of tired of talking to you a little bit. Mm-hmm. So he kind of stopped, turned away. And then before you knew it, Antonio Brown took off his helmet, his pads, his Under Armour, his shirt, everything. He threw his gloves in the crowd, his shirt in the crowd. All this while play is still going on the field. He in the back of the other end zone, start doing jumping jacks, waving to the fans, trying to get them hyped, and then leave out to the looked like to their locker room, and that was pretty much the story. I mean, the Bucks came back and won, but which is the best part. But the part that is, I don't even want to say disturbing now. It's interesting, and this is why I say interesting in regards to this. It's weird because we've said this before on the show. It's one topic that we kind of talk about some way, somehow, in everyone on our show because it's a big thing that we wanted to keep people aware of, which is real mental illness. And we made some comments a little while before, and we talked about, are people really seriously taking mental illness right now? Are they really caring about it? Are they really seeking to help people who potentially have some of these mental illness, like, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder? Mental illness is not a temper tantrum. And why I say this is because we got to be really careful, because mental illness is getting on that trend level, that trendy level where people are conveniently saying, yeah, man, I got some mental illness. Look, Antonio Brown has displayed this behavior not once, not twice, not three times, pattern. But it's been, there we go. It's been a pattern of unacceptable, immature behavior. And when it's underlined by selfishness, which each time it is underlined by selfishness, can it still have a layer of mental? Yes. I think that he has some issues that mentally he hasn't dealt with. Mental illness, I think, is another thing, because when they talk about my man that was in that dressed up like the Joker and shot up the movie theater in what's that, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, do we say he's mentally ill? I don't know if I could say he's mentally ill if he was able to strategically and systematically order thousands of rounds of ammo, strategically and faithfully learn how to shoot at pinpoint accuracy, and to strategically to make the time and place where he was going to attack. I don't think that's someone that's completely insane. I think that's someone that completely planned what they did and now is conveniently using the excuse and the cloak of mental illness to keep from spending the rest of their lives
to deal with that consequence. Yep.
So I just think that that's one thing, and I'm glad when Mac was talking about this. It's something I wanted to say, but I didn't want to. At first, I'm like, do I really want to step on people's toes? But I'm like, no, I won't make people think, because a lot of people saying this about a lot of people, and I'm like, no, we need to stop avoiding the accountability talk. And I want to say too much because I want to let Fifi get in here too. But that's what I'm thinking, because I think that with Antonio Brown's situation, I just think that he was throwing a grown temper tantrum. He didn't get his way, or he didn't agree with whatever how it was going to go, because we've heard so many different stories. They said they was asking him to get in the game. He said that his ankle was hurting, so he didn't go in the game. Some people said that they was keeping him out of the game, and that's why he left off the field. So guess what? We won't know. Only people that's going to know is the people that was on the field. That I don't care about. All I know is that the behavior that he did is not acceptable by a grown man. I don't care what it is. You could have easily waited to the end of the game. You could have even said, I'm not going in. I'm going to stay right here, but I'm not going in. You could have did everything else. That all screamed childish attention.
Yep.
That's what I say.
Go ahead.
And that's all I was gonna say. I was gonna say it was just to me, it just looked at like cries for help. Like, I want attention, I want my way. This ain't going my way, and I want everybody to know that this ain't going my way, and I'm mad about it, or I feel some kind of way about it. That's what it looked like to me. Again, not to say that he does or does not have mental issues going on, but it's just like, okay, what was the intent behind that? What was the goal you were trying to accomplish with that?
Right.
Because just if it was just as simple as you're trying to make me do something I don't want to do, okay, you could just sit there and ignore them, and what they gonna do? Okay, the most they can do is fire you or just say you ain't gonna play. Okay, I already didn't want to play, so, or like Randy said, just quietly walk off. But it just shows selfishness because the game is still going on. You still have teammates that's playing out here, and you making it about you. That's all I gotta say. It was interesting. That was the best choice of words.
Interesting. I think. Remember, as we all know, it was kind of it was difficult in the past to throw on that. Hey, I need to seek therapy.
Right.
Or that I have a mental illness. Like
it still is.
It's been a taboo, but like now it's I don't want to, like you said, it's trendy, but now I think it's more acceptable to admit that, hey, listen, I'm going through something. I need to see somebody, or I have something mentally wrong with me. I have to, get that taken care of. And what it just get thrown around so much to where it loses its seriousness. And like Antonio Brown. What?
I'm laughing at Fifi. I know she was laughing at me. I'm out of tea. I'm out of tea, man.
Okay, Antonio Brown Jr.
There you go. And that's my whole point. Like, that's a temper tantrum. Or
yeah, look, he did. First of all, he got all the attention. He took all the attention from me. And then
he got the attention. Look, that was the whole goal.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Antonio Brown definitely, like, him saying that he has mental issues, or even somebody displaying that they have it, and displaying this kind of stuff takes away one of the seriousness. And I think what we need to do now, if somebody claims that they have mental illness, whether they committed a crime or did anything, we got to have some background checks. Hey, do you go to therapy? Have you been evaluated? How often do you go? Do you take medication that have been doing these things? And that's a favor on their part. If I have a mental illness as an adult and I want to contain it, I got to do the intangible. I got to go to therapy. I have to take medicine. I have to do these certain things to make sure it's in check. And when you fail to do that, then, like you said, like, you're an adult at the end of the day. And with Antonio Brown, him being a celebrity, and what's the word I want to use? He has a tolerance because of his profession, how good he is as a profession. We can tolerate this guy doing certain, doing stuff. But
wow,
when it gets past the tolerance points, like, okay, this guy, he displays himself. He's displayed that he's been not a great teammate. He's displayed that he hasn't been an adult during the situations where he decides that he wants it his way. And guess where we point at? Mental illness.
And it's funny that he just said that. That's incredible. The thing that stuck out what you just said is because it's talent. So a lot of people like, look, you're a good football player, so we'll bring you on. And they've had 4 different teams do this, and it's been the same result each time. It come a time frame, and shout out to somebody like Tony Dungy, incredible guy, incredible head coach, but more importantly, an incredible stand-up, wise individual. Not just because he's black, but because the man is wise and God-fearing. And the first thing he said when he had this situation is that we need to stop giving Antonio Brown opportunities to play on teams because he has something else that's going deeper and is wrong, and we need to help him resolve those things first.
Yeah.
They just want his talent. They basically just want to rape him. Let's rape him of his talent so he could do all these other different things. They could bring him championships. But once they done with him, once the flash and stuff is done, you on your own. Like, hey, okay, we'll have everything got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, to me, we just got to get to this point where, and I know what we brought it up too, Matt, is that the sick part that I got is, if you really want to help with mental health issues and help people that really got them, like I've seen, like I know both of y'all, we have seen people with real mental health issues. I mean, not
it ain't a joke.
People from temper. It's way different. That's why I think people don't give it the seriousness that it deserves, and I'm scared of it becoming trendy, that people just use it to cover up their lack of responsibility and accountability. I've seen people that are schizophrenic. It's not a joke. I've seen people that got major multiple personality disorders. And I've seen that when they close places like, shout out Detroit, you know this Herman Kiefer. Most time people only know Herman Kiefer for one thing, is when y'all had y'all little one night stands and you went up there to get a quick test to see if you got burnt.
Have that pill, baby.
They go up there to do all that, but what they didn't realize is how much really incredible Herman Kiefer was because of all his mental health. That was the big thing, his mental health facilities across this country. But really in Michigan, it really hurt. That's when John Engler came in, took away all the funding from it. And from that point on, what happened, all those people with real mental health issues were left to roam the streets, to do all these things, because, be honest, it's some people, they need that kind of care. They need to be subject to that care. They need to subject to the medicate, not medicating them to the point where they're comatose. We're not talking about that. We're talking about helping them to learn how to live and to handle their illnesses to the point of where they can function in reality, as long as they are disciplined enough to take care of themselves the way they need to be taken care of. We're not talking about Antonio Brown who threw a temper tantrum. We're not talking about these celebrities out here that can't get their way, and then when they can't have a dose of the attention, because that's a lot of this is attention seeking.
Or we're not talking about people who go ahead and take advantage of the law, and then when they get held accountable, they want to say, "Oh, mental illness."
No, I was crazy. I'll be like, you was crazy as hell because you about to go to jail. You crazy as hell for me to think I'm gonna believe that, because ain't nobody gonna make me believe that a young man is mentally ill that goes into a church surrounded by incredible people and pray for him, and then as soon as they done praying, he goes out in the hallway and comes back in there and kills all of them point blank range. That's not insanity. That's planned. Nobody's gonna make me different. Nobody gonna make me think that a guy driving a car through a crowd of people during a peaceful protest and killing people is insane. No, that's driven. Those people should be challenged to the and punished to the highest extent of the law. People say mercy. Yep, absolutely. You can give them mercy. But as we said so many times on this show, sorry ain't gonna cut it sometimes. You still got to pay the cost for it. So I definitely agree with, everything that y'all was saying on that. So I just think that is a big difference. We need to find out. So if we want to help, we need to start bringing back true facilities to help mentally ill individuals.
Yes, sir.
That's what we need to do. We need to, if people want to really help, that's the things I wouldn't mind my tax dollars going to, because it's going. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want to mind that? Think about this. Think about if you had to wake up every day to your daughter or your loved one or something like that, and every day they think it's something talking to them. Every day they feeling like something that's unheard. They always on earth. Because really, those people, they're not even trying to harm people. You scared of them harming themselves.
Yep.
So, Antonio Brown, like I told somebody, I wish and I hope the best from him and any, that nature. But I hope he gets some accountability, and I hope he gets
yes, sir,
the help that he needs. But the biggest thing he need to do is stop being selfish, even to himself. Get yourself whatever you need to do. But if we really want to do something about mental health, we need to attack it at the root. That means in the communities, not just because they're celebrities. We need to attack it where people that ain't got the money. He got the money to go to the best facilities in the country. I'm talking about Joe Smo that's down here on Michigan Ave that's homeless. that sit in the alley every night talking to itself because he's schizophrenic. He should be off the street.
And just
that's what we need to be talking about.
And just seeing it every day downtown is like, wow, like how many people like are just down here just roaming because they have nowhere to go and
nowhere to
go.
Yep. Nowhere to go.
Sad.
No help.
Crazy. And this, like I said, that was crazy. But this the last one, and we making great time. This is, I think why this one is so crazy to me is that it's just where we at now, and it's hard to believe because we're not so far removed, but we are we might have been the last part of this generation that might experience writing your signature,
learning cursive.
In cursive, yep. We might have been the last part. We might be a very special. We might go. They go talk about us in history books, and it's interesting is that, man, AI is real. We've been talking about this for years, but artificial intelligence is here, man. It's really here. I can't believe it. And I titled it, AI, and we ain't talking about Ivo. Shout out to Allen Iverson.
Shout out to the answer.
You know what I'm saying? But it's really basically, if we, whether we like it or not, is technology everything that we hoped it would be, the tool we needed for everything? Or have we really damaged ourselves for the long run? Now, we talked about this, but we were really talking about social media. In the last conversation we had, not too long, I think about maybe about episode 3. Well, I think this is so important. And when we brought it up, I was like, man, because it's some things you can't do if you don't have the internet.
Yes,
you can't do it. It's a
lot of stuff.
It's some things you can't
like
do.
Your cell phone ain't gonna work if you don't have internet.
You don't have the internet. I remember something was this bad, and I know this gonna be funny. I remember at one time you couldn't even play or download video games if you didn't have the internet because you had to download licensing and registration. And they kind of took that, but that's coming right back. They're like, no, you're gonna have to have the internet for that. And just so many different other things. Like even the water company. Crazy.
I'll tell y'all one. I didn't drive until I was 20, between 19 and 20. So I never really learned like the streets or like the freeways or anything like that. And my tool is the GPS. I wouldn't know right now. I wouldn't know how to get anywhere without my GPS. Now the downside is that if I don't have my GPS, I don't know my way around certain places. Like I had to actually, like Alonso had to break down the freeways to show me how to get to where I need to go. But like as far as streets and learning like what do you call it? Like landlines or something like that. Like I guess landmarks, yeah, like to learn landmarks. Like I don't to this day, like it's difficult for me because I don't have to. I like for the rest of my life, I have a GPS. I got something that's gonna tell me where to go, how to get there. Why would I have to learn a landmark?
And see, I think that was my point I was gonna make about it. The con of it is the dumbing down of everybody because you're so dependent and used to, like with typing and spelling, it's the worst. We thought kids couldn't spell before.
It's horrible now.
Oh my God. Because of auto typing. Yeah. They don't know how to spell it. Simple stuff that like to you may make sense, but to them they like the computer tell me how to do that. Kids don't even know how to open up a dictionary and find words in there. But again, that goes back to technology. They weren't born in the time where you needed a dictionary. That, like Randy said, we was in the cusp of it where it was like we got the best of both worlds.
Right.
We had the first Game Boys and Game Boy Color and Pockets and all Advance and all that. Yep. But we still went outside and played and rode bikes all day and climbed trees and then came and played the game and then went back outside. Like we had a balance. Right. This generation, I focus it on the kids in general. Like it's technology driven. And if you don't get with it, you are going to be in the Stone Age. You're not going to know how to manage in the world, even with how we do financing and everything. If you don't have access to understand how to work, because a lot of these credit unions and banks and stuff, they still got branches and locations, but they ain't gonna be forever. No. If you don't know how to get online and get an online banking account or do Cash App or all these things, you're gonna be left behind.
Exactly. Like dinosaurs. Like even like at our jobs today, yeah, it's a lot more, field work to where we actually do physical things, write stuff down. But like now it's a day and age where it's at a beep of a button, or you have to do things on a computer. And a lot of people who've been in these industries now, like they can't adjust to that, and they just gonna be left behind. And it's like it'll be our generation to go ahead and basically adapt and learn to do both.
Right.
So like it it definitely it definitely moves us forward to the future. But a lot of, like I said, a lot of people can't handle it or aren't used to technology, or used to I have to use it every day. Like I need the internet every day in order to maintain a job and survival in my household.
Yeah,
But it's brung us really far, though.
For sure.
That I agree with. It's like you said, it's so many things that is really awesome for. Like we was talking about social media. It's really awesome when you do it the right. I think it's so awesome the fact that, and I'll use even our podcast, the fact that we got over 200 followers in other countries outside of outside the United States. That somebody right now in Great Britain who continues to show us love is watching this right now. It ain't a phone call, but it's in a millisecond that they're able to watch us and understand and hear what's going on over here without having to wait for the news or wait for, an update. It's incredible.
Yep.
We can have a call with somebody in Japan. Shout out my sister Ray. Right now, we can have that conversation in a millisecond. It's no waiting. This is the future. Information can travel that fast while somebody's asleep in another part of the world.
Yep.
They can get information like, boom, wake up. Whoa, man, when did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have a death in the family, most people do calls. Now it's Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Then what happened? People go Facebook. Whoa, when did this happen? Then you make some calls. Or people don't even make the calls no more. They go to other people they normally follow page in the family. Oh, let me find out this is on their what's name page. Let me find this. It is just incredible. Not only like that, but I was one of the people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoy the convenience to a point of paying bills online. I can pay for my house. I ain't gotta go stand in the line. I can be like, bam, 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 it's taken care of. Get the confirmation number just in case they say something different. Hey, the confirmation out here. Check y'all books because it came out my account.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just here. Online schooling, which I told people from jump, that's the future. People just need to might as well wake up tired of this. Talking about, I don't like virtual learning. You better get to loving it because that's the future.
Yeah, that for sure.
COVID is already pushed it. That was already an agenda that was already gonna do. It was already gonna happen. People were talking about doing virtual schooling a couple of years ago when people felt like they were unsafe. They didn't want to have the fact that they thought their kids wouldn't be safe in school. And let me tell you something, with these school shootings, and when we showed y'all the last time, how many school shootings have been since 2009? What was that? In 300? Was it 298? That's incredible.
That's crazy.
We are like, nope. You be at home, do the study.
Safe.
People are like, what? What about the learning? They are going to get better with it. Trust me. Because if it becomes regular, these teachers going to have to get better with it. My first experience with online schooling was in college.
Yep.
And at that time, it was kind of a little bit taboo. And it was my English 305 class. He's like, boom, everybody was on there. He knew everybody. He knew what was going on. Like, man, Professor Stu was an asshole. But he was, yes, he was, man. He was a dick. And he'd be like, I want you to email questions to me. I don't want you to ask them right now because I got too many of you. And, everybody's paying for this education. And I'm like, what? I mean, dude, okay, I'm going to email you the question, but I wait for you to get it. I'm like, I never understood him. I hope he retired. I hope nobody at Ferris State ever has to experience that cocksucker because he was a very arrogant, he was a real arrogant individual. He was just getting tenure. I don't know what it is about teachers and tenure.
They don't. That's like senioritis. They don't care.
I'd be like, whoa, okay. I'm like, all right, whatever. But yeah, it was just that. But it was hard. It was hard at first because he's talking. You really can't raise your hand because you're on the screen. You're looking at something like that, and you be like, oh man, I got to keep up. So you got to be a good note taker. But it's the future. And outside what? Everything else, even what we doing now, radio gonna be gone in a minute.
Yeah.
What you're looking at is the new radio. That's why podcasts are so hot right now, because it's easier for people to do. It still give you the feel of radio, but you still give you something to look at.
Yeah. Like think about like 15 years ago, like CDs were popping. Like you go to Walmart, you see like 2, 3, 4 hours of CDs. And like I went in there last night, it was like 1/4 foot section just of CDs. It is like I can just get it from a touch of a button. I can get that out. And like it just shows how time changed. You can't go in there and get
these subscriptions.
Yeah.
Pay $10 to Apple, and then you got iTunes and you got unlimited everything. You ain't even got to pay for, the subscription, pay for the album, which is crazy.
Yeah, but that's how it is now. I was with the next to the old guys going through DVDs, saying, man, I remember back in the days going to the video store, grab you one. I'm like, man, look, you better get a Fire Stick, homie.
And you know what's so funny?
But like,
it's so funny because we not that far removed from CDs.
No, like it's still something there, like, and they want to bring out vinyl records for like, the feng shui or whatever, but like, no, it that's it. Like, video stores are dead. Like, I ain't seen a family video in 2 years.
Ooh.
And if they're around, they're going down. They're going down. They're going around. Because I'm gonna tell you,
CBS,
man, Blockbuster.
That's what I was thinking of. Blockbuster, Family Video, all the rest of Hollywood Video big on. But a lot of them.
You can't sneak in the back and rip them little porn tapes now.
Hey, Matt, I worked there. That was my first job. Hollywood Video was my first job. It was shout out old Hollywood Video on Jefferson. I was going to King. That was my first job. I would leave after I went to King. I walk over there and go over there, do videos. And the number one question people used to ask me all the time, especially the guys. Let me tell you something. All old guys is pervs. I've never met one old guy that's not a perv.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
I'm by myself or ain't nobody else around, and they would come over there to me like, "Hey, brother, man, y'all got a porn section here?" I'm like, I'll be like,
over there.
I'll be like, "No, man, we don't have," because Hollywood Video didn't have a porn section, so
they didn't.
It was like they're coming there like, "Dang, man, you ain't got it." One guy was loud with it, like, "You got a porn section?" I'm like, "No, man. Why y'all here?" And then left out like, dude,
why you mad?
I'm like, dang. I'm like, go to Family Video, man. They got it's ironic that Family Video got a porn.
Like, it was a back door you go behind.
Yeah,
a whole joint full of porn. I was like, golly, taking some of these.
Back then, I knew Mac was saying the same thing. It was like, man, I'm like, bro, it's just crazy. Now, you go to an app, you search, your movie's there, and you press play.
Yeah.
Think about that, and think about how far this. If one of y'all could do me a favor, look how old Netflix is, because Netflix set the standard for this. Real talk. Netflix set the standard.
Didn't Netflix come out in like 2010?
Ain't it? That's how close we are. We're not that far removed. We're not that far removed. Netflix came out and they was doing, Max said the same thing, early 2000s. It was incredible because remember, they came out where you got CD, you got DVDs. And you send them back in the mail and stuff like that. And I'm laughing. I'm like, man, that junk ain't used. And what happened is that they wised up. They said, you know what we're going to do? It's interesting. If some of y'all get a chance, I can't wait for their story to come out. I hope Netflix drops their own story about the history of Netflix. That'll be one for the books. I will watch that. But
Oh yeah, they
Watch
need
Out-
to.
No, it's crazy. They started in 1997.
Oh, you got 97. Wow. What were they doing? That lets you know they were just doing DVDs, just like Mac was just saying. Mac just said I know everybody used to get DVDs from Netflix. You drop them
Video
off.
rental company. Yep.
1997? I don't even remember them.
Well, you know how a lot of companies be. They start off a certain way, and then they just kind of redevelop themselves as they go. They progress and evolve.
I would really want to hear their story. And then when you think about that, man, now they said, you know what? We got to do something different. Instead of DVDs, because they probably was thinking, man, people stealing these bad boys. They coming back damaged. All the problems that's wrong with CDs and DVDs.
Let me buy the rights to these movies. And you
Let's
get all at once.
Let's make an app.
And
where you can
listen, apps is where it's at. Do you know how much everything has an app these days? Like
everything. And this
even
is
the internet is getting old compared to apps. Like, who going to the website? I'm going to that.
The most incredible thing about this is that people were laughing. Cable TV was laughing at Netflix. They said, ha, 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 an app, good luck. Now cable TV is over.
Oh, cable TV dead.
Man.
Netflix is the cable killer.
Ooh, hey, ring that bell. Ring that bell.
Yep.
The cable killer.
They the cable killer, man.
Streaming.
Look, Matt, hey, where to go, Matt? I don't even have cable TV.
No, I don't either.
And Mac rich.
Hey, Mac, ain't we twin brothers?
No,
like
my boy Mac D, man, my boy Mac Deezy rich. I know we were working at the same place. Where? No, that's my dude right there, man. We done came up, Mac. We came
everything
up.
Everything I need.
Mac. Ain't that incredible, man?
And the crazy part is that cable is still expensive. It's like, why am I gonna pay $200-300 a month for cable? Well, I got YouTube for free. I got Netflix for $7 to $8. I got Hulu for $7 to $8. Depending on where you're working at, you get it free. Wink, wink, somebody. But like, you know,
or these phone services, they doing that too. You join their phone service, and they like, hey, you got AT&T? Join us. We'll give you Hulu free.
Yep. And I'm sorry, I ain't trying to get off of it, but man, Mac, Mac. You know what's so incredible about that class of people at GM? He just talking about that. Shout out that class, everybody. Every single one of them are managers, either GM or every other, at least other major Fortune 500 companies. That one class, I think that's incredible. I can't think of not one person in them classes that main and was there that didn't go on to greater things. God bless. It's great. There's a lot of greatness in that class, man. I'm being for real. I mean, there's a lot of greatness in that class, man. They did some great things. But yeah, you think about it, Netflix still sets the standard for everybody, right? They still the standard setter because nobody's still doing it like Netflix. People trying to copy, but they still ain't doing it like Netflix.
Nope. They struck gold first, and it's a wrap.
Remember Disney, even Disney Plus. Disney had to get in the mix. Like, we gonna come out with Disney Plus.
They tried it.
They tried it. I don't know if they perfected it yet.
Nobody touching Netflix.
But nobody touching Netflix. Hulu getting a little close. I'm gonna tell you this. HBO Max is nice.
HBO, yeah. And now all it's about is variety. Like, hey, I want to watch these kind of movies or these shows I can't get. That's what
I told y'all we ain't look at that. I told y'all know we in the same class. Now he said that right before I even said it. Now look at that, man. Look at Disney Plus and HBO. I'm gonna tell you what I don't like about. I like Disney Plus, because I get to watch all those nostalgic cartoons I watched when I was little that you can't get no more because they own VHS tapes like Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, and I can show like my kids like, look at this, man. Y'all don't know nothing about this, and they be all in. These new generation be like, what is that, man?
Yes, that's a whole topic in itself about cartoons and the way the context behind it.
You gotta watch it, Pepe Le Pew. Like, this is how I used to get girls.
Oh my God. Man, I wish I don't have a boo button on here. God, I wish I had a boo button.
You got a what button?
I wish I had a boo. Red Pepper Le Pew. But yeah, it's I mean, and it ain't stopping. What happened from there? Every other channel. See, when you realize Netflix came out and killed cable, them other channels had to come out with their own apps. HBO,
Yep.
Cinemax,
Yep.
Showtime. And the problem is, unless you are someone that watches that station all the time, you're not gonna buy it. I don't have Showtime. I don't watch Showtime. So I'm
Right.
like, whatever. I'll wait for you to come on Netflix.
If Power, if it wasn't for 50 Cent having these amazing Power series and BMF series and all this other stuff, I wouldn't have Stars.
Nope.
Like, I strictly watch it for that. Like, you take my little $10 a month, but I strictly only buy Stars for those movies. I will never watch Stars outside of that. Like Netflix and
what's
Hulu
the
got
next
everything
best
else.
thing? And the next best thing that's coming up about technology that I know we talking about technology and that people y'all really gonna have to get adapted to it. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to get adapted to it. It's medicine. Those things are gonna be the future. You're gonna have doctor visits that are gonna take place virtual first.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's where it's at now.
They already started doing that when the pandemic first hit.
Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes this is where when a lot of people be talking that conspiracy theory, where I can say I can see your point because I feel like they just a lot of this stuff they already had planned that they were gonna do. Like we're gonna have to get this rolled out. It'll help, but that's the future. If you don't believe it, look at churches. Churches have already started doing it too. A lot of churches like, how are we gonna praise and worship? What are you talking about? Church has been doing this for the last couple of years. I know for a fact the Potter's House been doing these type of services where you go online and look at it for the last almost 9 years. I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Osteen Church been doing this. These mega churches have been doing this for a long time. Now everybody's doing it because guess what? Not just because of the pandemic, convenience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it like that, but it's just the
That's the
truth.
fact. If I ain't got to
Think of
leave
somebody
my
that's got to work. Think of
still,
somebody that work on a Sunday. They work Sundays, but they can watch while they at work.
and hey, if you're doing service, might as well go ahead and send them ties.
Yep. There you go. And what you do? Tithes and
Yep.
offers, same thing. What they doing? Cash App.
Cash App, PayPal. The church, even the churches got apps for that. They got like Tithely and all these special apps for churches now. This is our church giving, Gively and stuff like that. Giveify and yeah.
And look at this. And the biggest change that technology has shown and is completely destroyed industries on is e-commerce.
Oh, absolutely. I was just about to say they trying to compete every day.
It's a wrap. Like
Amazon messed it up for everybody.
Amazon killed it. Like dead meat and then what Walmart right behind it. Groceries, any major grocery stores is right behind it. Like working for Walmart, I can see like how they transition the business. Like the priority is e-commerce. That's the priority. That's the priority. But like even just Amazon just killing the game is.
It's just like you said. It's just the truth now. It's either for like with clothing lines and things of that nature. They close down their stores. They say, "Look, man, close down the stores. We're gonna do an e-commerce. People they're more convenient with coming in. They know their size. That's why most places like, look, you look down there and say fits true to size or fits 2 sizes bigger. They got like that now because this is where it's at. They're like, look, they're not going to stores. They're not doing this anymore. Man, it's a wrap. We've had malls in Detroit go down like Northland gone,
Eastland about to get tore down.
I'm just it's just happening like that. So we see like you said, Amazon came in. Now you can tell me that I can order and I can have it the next day if I'm a member. Yeah. I don't care. I was like, that's
Amazon
awesome.
Prime. Quick.
Hey, and I'm a member.
And it's cheap. I'm only paying no more than $15.
Woo! And I get to watch videos and I can do
listen.
Prime. I mean, it's just the truth. Like you said, it's just where it's at. It's where it's at now. This is the future. It's going to get to a place. Now, is there some things we're not going to be able to do? I would like to say, yeah, but really, it's becoming. I believe you're going to start going to gas stations that are not going to have clerks anymore.
Nope. Debit card, put it in.
Yep. I think you're going to have that kind of access now. Like, no, you can't. We ain't doing that. Go ahead,
get your vending machines and card readers. They only there to sell chips and juice, and cigarettes.
Like, that's all we need. Like, what are we gonna do like that? Some places, but other than that, they're like, look, our main thing here is to get gas. If they ain't got to pay salaries no more, I'm thinking of it from a businessman aspect.
Oh yeah, they like, oh, we want to cut it out.
Yep. All I got to do is have somebody there for the gas delivery, and the rest of that, all I got to do is have you there, because there is no cash on hand anymore. Cash is about to be a thing. I don't care what nobody. People go say, no, it ain't. I'm like, bro,
it is
about to be worthless. Between the ongoing Bitcoin and everything else, we deal with pretend money every day. Real talk. I mean, we deal with your biggest purchases. When's the last time you came with $2,000 cash in your hand and gave it to somebody? You're doing it by card. Not unless you're doing a drug deal. You're doing it by card. This is just the future. Nobody gonna say, yeah, I got $20,000 to put on this house. Yeah, it's gonna be transferred in the
wire transfer.
This is gonna be. If you come in with $20,000 cash, you going to jail, because they reporting it. You're going to jail, okay? They're gonna report it to the IRS.
Like,
higher than the cash. I got 20 G's cash. I'm like, bro, if you don't stop putting that money in,
where you get this from?
You got to report that, man. Just go through the proper channels. But
even did y'all know, even with banks and credit unions and stuff, so like if you do a deposit that's over $10,000, they track that.
Yeah, they track
you have
it's
a special form that we gotta fill out.
$9,999.
Right.
Even through the airport, like you gotta have $9,999 for
airport travel. Man, the only thing you're gonna have in airports in a minute. Is security. Everything else is gonna be wireless. You're gonna have to get up to the gate. You're gonna have to supply your everything's gonna be done like that. When we need electronic proof, they are going to eliminate human to human contact more than you can ever imagine before. Just like Max said right here. I see, not just in Honolulu, I done seen McDonald's like that in Ohio.
Oh yeah, they got them everywhere.
Yeah, I saw it in Ohio. I was going around, I'm like, where everybody at? And I had to just go there, and pick it up. Now I'm like, well, at least I ain't got to deal with no rude people. But unfortunately, people kind of put us in this place a little bit. You know what I mean? But
lack of good customer service.
Yep, that's a whole nother topic. I ain't gonna get it on. But I think so. As a whole, I mean, just to ante it up and get it together. What do y'all think for the most part? Is it a good step in the right direction, or do we need to continually say, instead of we could do this, we should be like, should we do this?
I think it's a step towards the right direction. Just like in the work environment, like as far as my philosophy is going to change. Either you're going to change with it, or you'll be left behind. It's just what it is. And don't get me wrong, like I don't necessarily like every technology, but everything we've been using, everything that's been produced, we've been using, and we've been using it to the fullest, and it has been helping. Some people don't like to adjust to it, or they just like certain things that they may be used to, but like everything we just talked about, has done nothing but help us. So like I said, I'm with it. The only thing is, like I said, when I mentioned my example, like I've been handicapped on earning, landmarks and everything. But with that being said, as long as I have something that will help me get to where I need to go, so what's the point of learning it? But everything else has definitely been helping. For sure.
Fifi, before you get your answer, I'm gonna try to look at what Matt just said. With companies struggling to fill jobs, they may feel like they might have to. I think that's an outstanding point.
They are.
I feel that companies are tired of begging.
Look at Walmart. Look at how many like cashiers you actually have there versus the self-scan kiosk. They do it themselves.
I think that's a great point, brother. I appreciate you, man. That is a really good point. I didn't really think about that aspect of it that much either. You know, you think about how you like, oh, they taking away jobs, but maybe how many people are kind of giving away jobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
To a certain point, you know, to a certain point, you know.
Sure.
So, I mean, Fifi, go ahead. I know what you're saying. What you
think? No, I was just gonna say, I think it's a step in the right direction as everything. I think we just gotta have balance. I think you don't need to just fully negate the way of old. But I think that if you continuously adapt with the growing of technology, have knowledge of it, and then implement those old things just to be refreshed on them and keep them active, you should be good. 100%.
Dang, fly flew in your mouth.
Wow. I had to get off. I had to take my picture off for that one. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked at the both of you. No, I am. I'm surprised. Not that saying I feel different. I'm just surprised y'all both said that. And can I tell y'all why I'm surprised y'all both said that? Because I think I'm leaning toward the same direction as y'all. Maybe y'all are still saying the same thing that I'm probably thinking. And that's that I think that instead of us just saying we could, we need to really think if we should.
Mm-hmm.
To you know, like I think it's good steps, but we need to make sure it's the right step. Because every good idea don't mean it should be an idea that we bring forward.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of the stuff they're doing with cars, I don't like the thought process that somebody behind the wheel won't know how to do it if it doesn't work. That scares me.
That's why I said that balance.
And that's why I said I think y'all both was saying the same thing. I was saying because that's my biggest fear. Like a kid that don't know how to park, but you got parking assist. What if your parking assist don't work? So now you just stuck like you look like a baboon just scratching their head, jumping in like what the man back this parallel park this car, boy. And
but
it's I think like you said, I think I agree everything, man, because there's so much good with it. And like you said, I think people do need to get adjusted because it is the future, but we also need not cancel the need for human out.
Yes.
But here's
need that interaction.
But here's the thing though, which we all can agree to. If it's gonna make money and people are gonna continue to use it and pay for it, then that's the where they're gonna go. Like some people may like, hey, I want to go to a grocery store and have somebody help me get the can off the damn counter. Or I want to look at somebody in a damn line while I'm in McDonald's or Taco Bell serving me my food. But if it's more efficient and people are happier going in line and coming out in less than 2 minutes to get their food, where you have people actually doing it in 10 minutes and you're not liking it, like I'm going to lean towards that.
Because I see you. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, the thing is that hey, if like some people may not like the online stuff, but so many people are doing it and it's happening at an alarming rate. That's the way to go. Look at Netflix. Like I said, we look at Netflix, look at Amazon, look at all the companies that are now doing e-commerce and streaming and everything we just talked about. Like that's where the money's going and that's where society's heading. Yeah, like 10 to 5% may not like it, but it's happening.
Because I think we'll still have the need for people. Absolutely. You still need people for a lot of jobs because we've already learned that already with shipping. I mean, post office, UPS, Amazon. They need to fill those spots.
They need people to deliver all this stuff that's getting sent out online.
All this enormous, all you freaking Amazonaholics out there that got a package every 2
Crystal.
hours. You know what I'm
Crystal.
saying? So it's
Crystal.
like you do need those things. And then it's gonna be some stuff, protection, because I don't want a robot coming to my house talking about freeze, please, freeze. And then they colorblind because they don't understand color. So any dark hues, they just as worse as other cops. Like intruder. I'm like, I called you. No, not to get off the subject, but it's a show. I wish I knew the name of it. It's a show on NBC, and they make cars. So what ended up happening is that they made a car. It was a white car, and the black guy was crossing the street. It was a self-driving car. So the car ended up hitting the black guy, and it's like, what happened? I thought you said that the car would work. He'll say, well, we found out that we noticed that the computer software doesn't recognize darker hues. He's like, so you created a racist car? I got to figure out the name of it. I'll let y'all know. It was funny the first episode. But, other than that, I just think it's going to be some things. It's still going to be whole. Like you said, I think it's just got to be a balance. But some things, like you said, the technology, entertainment, stuff like that, it's still going to happen. I think where it's going to be the problem is when things go wrong, you want somebody to speak to. You don't want to go through no automated system.
For sure. Yeah, hey.
Oh, God.
Right. You get angry. You be like, this is not the option that I want, and you ain't giving me the option. Let me talk to somebody right now.
And they don't want you to, automated systems won't let you talk to, they like the gatekeeper, like, please press 1. Oh, I did not hear you. Please press 1. I'm like, what did they just say? Like, they'll say, repeat the name. I'm like, Randy Johnson. They be like, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I'm like, damn. And then I'll be on the phone like, give me a goddamn representative. I didn't understand that. How can I help you today? Give me a representative. I did not understand that. Our office hours are from 9 to 5. You have a good day. Right, come on. I'm like, I'm on the phone for hours. I hate that. I know I went on a rant. I went on a rant on my personal page about automated systems. I said, I wish I could have a DeLorean, one of those from back in the future, and go back to the time where that person who was going to invent that, thinking that was going to be a good idea, I wish I could just smack them and threaten them like, don't you ever make this in the future. This is a horrible idea. It's the, woo, man, it's the worst. I hate automated systems, dog. I hate them. I hate them. I think they're the worst trick ever. But to everybody out there, we are at that time frame.
So
we appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank y'all again for coming on the show. We will be back here next week, Wednesday, 7:45. As always, thank you so much for everybody sharing out. We appreciate all the interaction, man. We love it. We love all the interaction we get from all our fans and everybody that's paying attention. Thanks. Shout out to my boy Mac. Appreciate you, man. John, of course, Miss Kathy, of course, and all the rest of you that was on other pages commenting. If you want your comments to get shown, you got to go to the actual page itself. That's Unfiltered with Mr. Johnson. Just to let you know. So I'm sorry, I just couldn't go back and forth to them pages, and of course YouTube as well. To my co-hosts, y'all got anything to say before we let them get out of here?
All right, couple things. One, PTI Culture is coming. Please stay tuned for that. Merch will be dropping very soon. Everybody continue to share, like, subscribe to Unfiltered with Mr. Randy Johnson. Mac, thanks for the great conversation. Felicia, I'm a better dancer than you. I just want to let you know.
Never that, sir.
I'm a better
Your
dancer.
dreams, thanks.
Yes, I'm a better dancer than you.
Never.
She got nothing on my two-step. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm a way better dancer than you, homie. So, yeah.
I represent for the ladies. I'm out.
Everything else she'll kill me on. I'm like, man, I ain't even trying to do that. I get mad like, man, I ain't even trying to show off.
That's what we need to have on here. We need to have a dance off. Okay.
Felicia,
like
I'll burn you when we come down and dance. You better sit your short self down.
Please don't try it.
This how we look. This how I would look on the dance off. I'm like, I ain't even trying to do this, man. Fifi, you got anything to say before we get up out of here?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
All right. Well, again, shout out to every single one of y'all. Remember, next week, same time, 7:45 Wednesday. Enjoy y'all. Love y'all. Be safe. See you next week from Unfiltered.